Hello, good day everyone. Today I'm going to discuss on your capstone proposal for your project in software engineering 1. So at the end of the discussion, we will be able to know or to learn how to write chapters 1, 2, and 3 for your project proposal. So last time, I already gave you kung ano yung magiging title ng project proposal ninyo. So each group has its own title already. Now, ngayon, ano yung isasubmit nyo sa akin at the end of the semester? So, ang isasubmit niyo is ang chapters 1, 2, and 3 na documentation. So, before we discuss that, let us have first a brief discussion on what makes a good research proposal. So, ano yung magandang research proposal? So, last time, yung mga sinabit nyo sa akin na title proposal, it is still upon my approval. Because we have to make sure that your research proposal or your project proposal is a good one. So, ito yung mga criteria that I considered. First is relevance, either to the work of the funding body or to the student's course. So, ano ba yung course ninyo? You are a computer science student. Then, of course, ang magiging project proposal ninyo is, of course, in line doon sa course ninyo. Most likely, it would be a software development or system development. Okay, then we have the research is unique or offers new insight or development as much as possible. So, sa case ninyo, I allowed na kahit hindi siya unique, no, I still accepted it. So, the main purpose lang, para at least alam natin kung ano yung magiging software development life cycle at ma-apply ninyo siya. Okay, then another, the title, aims, and objectives are all clear and succinct. So, at the very beginning, sinabi ko na sa inyo kung ano yung magiging objectives. So, it must be very clear. Dahil pag hindi natin alam kung ano yung gagawin ninyo, so basically, mahirapan kayo on how to start with your project. Okay? So, it must be clear. Then we have comprehensive and thorough background research and literature review has been undertaken. So, that is why during sa proposal pa lang, I already gave you some questions that would actually do some background research on your project proposal. So, alamin natin kung ano yung mga transactions with your proposal. So, say for example, inventory. So, ano yung mga transactions sa inventory? Ano yung mga ginagawa ng mga empleyado? Sa accounting system, ano yung mga ginagawa ng mga empleyado? Ano yung mga transactions under that system? So, it must be comprehensively have a background research. Okay. So, why research proposal fails? So, ito yung dapat nating iwasan, no? During sa proposal. So, ang sa inyo, I already make it sure that your objectives are clear. Para hindi na tayo pupunta sa punto na mag-fail yung proposal natin. Okay? So, these are the reasons. So, the aims and objectives are unclear or vague. So, hindi masyadong klaro yung objectives. There is a mismatch between the approach being adopted and the issues to be addressed. So, that is why you have to know kung ano yung problem na na-encounter ng mga employees doon sa business or sa establishment. At yun yung gagawa natin ng solution. So, ano yung solution natin? Of course, we have to develop a software or a system para maiwasan na nila ang mga issues or problems sa organization or sa establishment. Number 3, the overall plan is too ambitious and difficult to achieve in the time scale. So, sa case ninyo, you will be doing the proposal at the end of the semester. So, since you will not going to implement it So, hindi natin malalaman na ma-achieve natin yan with the duration of time kung meron pa tayong implementation. But we have already to think about na kung gaano ba siya kalaki or ambitious ang project proposal natin. Baka mag-propose kayo ng system wherein matatapos siya or ang timescale plan niya is for 2 years. So, hindi yan pwede. So, it must be appropriate lang sa inyo kung kailan siya matatapos. The researcher does not seem to have conducted enough or in-depth background research. So, wala kayong background research. Isa yan sa reason na magfe-fail yung proposal. So, pag tinatanong ko kayo kung ano yung mga transactions with your project proposal, so ano yung mga ginagawa ng mga employees, sino yung gumagamit ng ganyan, sino yung nakakandak ng transactions na ganyan. So, you have to know, no? Dapat alam niyo yung sagot. So, in order to do that, then you have to have an in-depth background research. So, another reason we have problem is of insufficient important. So, wala siyang relevance. So, there is no sense na nagpropose kayo ng ganyang klaseng project kasi insufficient ang kanyang importance. So, wag nyo na lang ipropose kung wala siyang kwenta. So, say for example, a system that could actually add 2 numbers, di ba? So, we can do that using a calculator. So, hindi siya masyadong importante. So, ayun. So, hindi siya need na i-propose. Okay, so ano yung problem na minimin sa project? So, when we say a problem, these are any significant, perplexing, and challenging situation, real or artificial, the solution of which requires reflective thinking. Then a perplexing situation after it has been translated into a question or series of questions that help the direction of the subsequent inquiry. So sa title ninyo, just think about it that there is an existing problem. So you have to know or determine kung ano yung problem ng business. Like nahihirapan sila sa transaction kasi manual. So masyadong matagal gawin. So with the use of the software, maybe they can actually do it in a short period of time. So yan yung magiging solution ninyo. Gagawa kayo ng system or software para i-address doon sa problem. So one of your isa yan sa i-research ninyo. Ano yung problem na gagawa ninyo ng solution? Okay, so these are the elements of research problem. Number 1, aim or purpose of the problem for investigation. So yun nga, yung sinabi ko, you have to know the objective, tapos ano yung problema na gagawa ninyo ng solution. So kung meron na kayo niyan, I think your proposal is good to go. So pwede niyo na siyang ipagpatuloy. Pero kung wala kayong purpose, wala din kayong problem na bigyan ng solution. So, why propose that project? Okay? Then, so this answers the question why. So, why is there an investigation, inquiry, or study? Number 2, the subject matter or topic to be investigated. So, this answers the question what. So, what is to be investigated or studied? So you already have the title, so I think you can already answer these questions. Another, the place or locale where the research is to be conducted. Okay, nagawa nyo na rin ito. So you already have or had a place or a business or organization kung saan kayo mag-conduct ng study. Okay, so number 4, the period or time of the study during which the data are to be gathered. So this answers the question when. So, kailan kayo magkakandak ng study? Kailan kayo mag-interview? So, just like what I've said, so it must be done before mag-end ang semester. And then lastly, population or universe from whom the data are to be collected. So this answers the question who, from whom. Okay, sino yung mga respondents na nakukuhaan na ninyo ng information. Right? Tapos for whom are the data to be gathered? So saan kayo mag-interview? Saan kayo kukuha ng data? So those are the things that you have to consider sa inyong project proposal. So here we have the characteristics of a research problem. So yun nga, sinabi ko, you have to have a problem doon sa business na gawa natin ng solution. So it must be in line with these characteristics. So it must be first specific. So hindi siya masyadong broad. So alam mo kung ano yung magiging direction or target na gagawa ninyo ng solution. Measurable. Dapat hindi siya masyadong malaki yung yung problem. So specific lang siya. So if you are doing a software or a system in a store sa tindahan, so pipili ka lang whether doon ka ba sa inventory, doon ba sa accounting yung focus mo, or sa payroll ng mga empleyado. So you have to choose, or para ma-measure natin kung hanggang saan lang yung magiging proposal ninyo. So hindi pwedeng a system for that store, kasi pwedeng lahat, no? So mahirapan kayo. So you have to be specific, and it must be measurable. So ang A, achievable, no? Dapat ma-anticipate ninyo na kaya siyang gawin. Okay? So that would also be realistic din yan siya pag magagawa ninyo. And of course, time bound. Yun nga, ulitin ko naman, dapat ang time ninyo is for this semester lang. So ilan ba yung months sa isang semester? Especially sa implementation, 5 months lang. Okay, so already discussed this one by one. So let's proceed with the guidelines in writing the research title. So you already have the research title, right? So if your research title answer the following questions, then you are good to go. So if it does not answer these 3 questions, then you have to revise your research title as much as possible, as soon as possible rather. So what question will answer the following? What are you trying to investigate? So ano yung gagawa niyo ng research? What are you trying to find out or determine or to discover? So those answers the question 1. The next, who? Who question will answer who are the respondents or subjects of the study. So kung mag-conduct kayo ng interview, sino yung magiging respondents ninyo? Ayan. So then next we have where question will indicate the research locale. So saan kayo magka-conduct ng study. So that is why last time I asked you kung anong specific address kayo magka-conduct ng study. So I think most of the research title proposal na binigay niyo sa akin answers all of these questions. So now I think we're ready for the components of a capstone project proposal manuscript. So we have chapter 1, 2, 3 at saka yung chapter 4. Okay, yung chapter 4, ito yung nasa module 2, methodology. So pipili lang kayo ng isa kung ano yung gusto ninyo. So whether mag-waterfall model ba kayo, mag-agile, meron pa yung Big Bang, merong iterative. So pipili lang kayo ng isa, yun yung ilalagay niyo dito sa chapter 4 methodology. So that's how easy it is sa chapter 4. So wala na kayong problema sa chapter 4. So ngayon, let us just discuss chapter 1, 2, and 3. So sa chapter 1, ito yung mga subsections, no? We have the project context, the purpose and description of the project, objectives of the project, scope and limitations of the project. So, yan yung content ng chapter 1. So, dapat sa isang subsection, meron kayong paragraph each, okay? So, i-discuss natin kung ano yung i-write up ninyo with these sections. So, sa project context, you can have it at least 2 pages. Pwede lang naman 1 page as long as lahat ng mga importante na mga details ay makikita natin doon sa project context. Now, ano yung mga details na dapat nating makita sa project context? Okay, the proponent should introduce the presentation of the problem. Okay, so ang proponent here, that pertains to you. Okay? Kayo yung mga proponent. So, ang gagawin niyo, i-introduce niyo yung yung presentation of the problem. So, ano yung problem? No? So, what it is all about? So, say for example, in a store, nahihirapan yung cashier para sa computation, pati din yung mga empleyado sa inventory, medyo mahirap kasi matagal. So, yan yung isi-state niyo na problem doon sa project context. Kasi yan yung gagawa niyo na paraan or ng solution. At saka yung solution na gagawin niyo, yan yung ipropose niyo na project title. Okay? So, furthermore, the proponent should describe the existing and prevailing problem situation based on his or her experience. Then, the scope may be global, national, or regional, and local. So, pwede siyang local, no? Tapos, regional, national, or global. Depende sa project proposal. Basta, the gist lang ng problem in the certain situation. Okay, so continue. Sa project context, the proponent should give strong justification for selecting such research problem in his or her capacity as a researcher, being part of the organization or systems, and the desire and concern to improve the systems. So, bakit yan talaga yung gusto nyong i-propose? No? Bakit hindi ibang title? So, you have to justify na kailangan talaga namin tong gawin na research proposal kasi kailangan ito ng business na gagawa namin ng system, ng software. Ito yung kailangan nila. Now, let me ask you a question. Bakit nila yan kailangan? So, isa yan sa ilalagay nyo doon sa project context. Okay. Moreover, the researcher state a sentence or two that would show the link and relationship of the rationale of the study to the proposed research problem. So, meron kayong proposal, 'di ba? Proposed research. Meron na kayong proposed na system, at the same time meron kayong problem. Now, the question is, ano yung magiging relationship ng problem towards the proposed system or development? Ano yung mangyayari pag i-deploy or gagamitin ng business ang system na ginagawa ninyo, i-propose ninyo? Magiging okay ba siya? So, at least give a hint, no? Kung ano yung magiging outcome if ever na ma-deploy ang inyong system sa business. So, isa yan sa ilalagay ninyo doon sa project context. Okay? So, ayun. Next ng project context, we have the propose and description of the project. Sa title pa lang, purpose and description. So, ano yung purpose ng project at saka description? So it must answer the questions, what is the function of your project? Okay? Or ano yung mga transactions na magagawa ng project ninyo? Another question, what is good in your project? Ano yung maganda sa project ninyo, right? Then another question, what makes your project unique, innovative, and relevant? So these three questions actually para ka lang nagbebenta ng software, no? So gagawa ka lang ng paragraph that would actually sounds something like you are selling a product. Baga murag ipanghinambog nimo imong project nga nindot kaayo, mao ni siya ang iyang mga functions, ingani siya unique siya kay ingani siya. Okay? So yan yung sa purpose and description of the project. Another section is the objectives of the project. So merong two objectives, no? Ang first is ang general objective, ang second naman is ang specific objectives. So ang general, from the term itself, general, it is very parallel to your project title. So say for example, ang project title ninyo is Development of Inventory System of Pen Shop. Okay? So ang magiging general objective nyo dyan is to develop an inventory system for pen shop. Yan yung general. Ano naman yung specific objectives? Ito yung this will help realize the proposed study. So i-explode mo lang yung general objective. So it could be like ang number 1 is to design a prototype. So of course yan, no? Mag-design kayo ng prototype para sa interface ng gagawing project. First objective. Second objective is to gather information. Ganun. Tapos, ang third objective ninyo is the implementation. Ayun. Tapos, ang last objective is yung deployment of the project. So, pwede yan as a specific objective. And then, of course, your objectives must be SMART. So, ano yung SMART? Ang S stands for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for realistic, and T for time-bound. So, yan yung sa objectives of the project. And then, last section, we have scope and limitation of the project. Okay, so, just think of your project as a box. Kumbaga, yung project nyo isa siyang box. So, kung ano yung content ng box, yan yung magiging scope nyo. So, kung ano yung wala sa box, yung nasa labas, which is also parang related siya konti, pero nandun siya sa labas ng box. So, yan yung magiging limitation. So, say for example, ang proposal ninyo is yung information system of the students in Medina College. Information system. So, yan yung scope ninyo. So, ano yung magagawa niya so, magko-collect siya ng information of the students. So, now the question is, kasali ba doon yung attendance? So, pag hindi siya kasali doon sa attendance, wala siya sa box. No? So, yun yung limitation. So, yan yung ilalagay nyo naman sa limitation. So, pag sinabi nating scope, it refers to the work that needs to be accomplished to deliver a product, service, or result with the specified features and functions. So, of course, it explains the nature, coverage, and time frame of the study. So, yun nga, pag hindi siya included sa project, which is also somehow related, so doon mo siya ilalagay sa limitation. Okay, so yun yung mga sections, no, ng chapter 1. Now, let's move with chapter 2. So, review of related literature. So, ano ba yung review of related literature, or also known as RRL? Ito yung tinatawag nila na RRL. So, this means a survey or review of related literature and studies, which is very important because such reviews, literature, and studies serves as a foundation of the proposed study. This is because related literature and studies guide the researcher in pursuing his research venture. So, you will be doing a research from the term itself, related, no? So, meron na talagang mga existing project na related sa study nyo. Then, you will do some research on it. So, ano din yung mga objectives nila? Ano yung mga methods na ginamit nila? Because that will also guide you for your proposed study. Okay? So, these are the following different ways on how the review of related literature and studies help as a guide to the researcher. So, of course, it helps us to guide the researcher in searching for selecting a better research problem or topic. So, yun nga, sa research talaga, it must be unique. Pag may nakita ka ng existing project similar with your study, so at least, make it better. So, you have to do something better out of it. 'Di ba? Pag may makita ka ng same proposal or same project na nag-exist na, make better topic. So, hindi mo yan magagawa pag hindi ka nagre-research. So, they help the investigator understand his topic for research better. Of course. So, for an example, yung proposal niyo is about accounting system. Now, if I'm going to ask you, what is an accounting? Since accounting system yung proposal niyo. So, you will not know or understand that pag hindi kayo nagre-research. So, at least, meron kayong idea kung ano yung mga transactions within those system. Right? So, hindi pwedeng title lang hanggang doon lang. You have to do an investigation, understands the topic, even though na hindi siya related sa course ninyo, at least you have some idea. Then, you have to ensure that there will be no duplication of other studies. So, sa case ninyo, okay lang na may duplication na similar. Pero hindi pwede na kopyahin lahat. So, that is why, ang gagawin ninyo is hindi siya general na system. So, it must be custom-made na system. Meaning, appropriate lang siya doon sa business na sinabit ninyo, kung saan siya i-deploy. Okay, so they help and guide the researcher in locating more sources of related information. Next, they help the researcher in making his research design. Of course, there will be a lot of methodology that you can use or design. So, sa case ninyo, meron na doon, pipili lang kayo doon sa chapter, sa module 2. So, yun yung ilalagay niyo doon sa methodology, chapter 4. They help and guide the researcher in making comparison between his findings with the findings of other researchers on similar studies with the end in the view of formulating generalizations or principles which are the contributions of the study to the fund of knowledge. Okay, characteristics of related literature and studies. So, surveyed materials must be as recent as possible, no? The materials reviewed must be objective and unbiased. Tapos, materials surveyed must be relevant to the study. Hindi pwedeng masyadong malayo. Like, if you are researching about software development, so hindi pwedeng about physics yung magiging literature. So, dapat relevant lang siya doon sa study. Next is surveyed materials must have been based upon genuinely original and true facts or data to make them valid and reliable. And of course, the reviewed materials must not be too few or too many. So, dapat sakto lang. Okay, so at least mga 20 20 materials na ni-review. So, okay na yun para sa proposed project proposal. Ano yung mga sources? So, aside sa mga internet, of course, internet naman talaga ngayon. So, you can actually do that on the internet, yung pag-research. So, pag meron kayo nito, okay lang din, no? So, meron kayong books, encyclopedias, almanacs, and other similar references. Articles, manuscripts, or unpublished theses and dissertations. Pwede yan. Yung mga constitutions and laws, bulletins, records of schools, official reports. Ito, articles from the internet. Pwede rin yan. So, saan natin malocate yung mga related literature and studies? Okay, sa internet, sa library, mga offices. Pwede kayo doon mag-conduct ng research. So, there are two portions ng review of related literature na gagawin ninyo. First is the related theories at saka related projects. So, sa chapter 2, review of related literature, related theories, tapos related projects. Ha? So, ito yung magiging subsections. Okay, so guidelines in writing the review of related systems. Sa related theories, ito yung mga theory like mga meaning, for example, about accounting system. Okay? Accounting system yung proposal niyo. So, related theories about accounting. Ano yung mga transaction na accounting? So, ito yung ilalagay mo dito sa part 1. Tapos, sa part 2 naman, sa related projects, yung mga accounting system na existing na. So, mag-research lang kayo. Then, ano yung mga ginagawa nila doon sa accounting system. Okay? Then, for chapter 3 naman, technical background. So, ito yung overview of the current technologies used in the current systems. So, you have to discuss on the current trends and technologies to be used in developing and implementing the proposed systems. So, sa hardware, ano yung gagamitin na computer specifications? So, you have to put it here, no? Sa hardware. So, desktop ba? So, ano yung memory? So, specifications of the hardware. Sa software, so ano yung gagamitin mo na programming language for the development? Okay, so ilagay mo dito under sa software. Peopleware, sino yung gagamit, no, ng system or ng software na i-develop? And the network is kung magamit kayo ng internet connections for receiving or accepting of data. So you have to provide here kung ano yung mga internet ISP or internet provider. Then fluidity and continuity should be observed. So meaning yan, class, is that it must be spontaneous yung pagkagawa ng mga paragraph ninyo in chapter 3. So that ends for the discussion on how to write your project proposal. So, doon sa chapter 1, i-repeat ko lang, sa chapter 1, under sa chapter 1, nagagawa ninyo ng paragraph is we have the project context, purpose and description of the system. We have also the objectives of the proposed project, and of course, the scope and limitation. So, chapter 2, the review of related literature. So that includes the related theories and then the related project. And of course, ang sa technical background sa chapter 3, it includes the hardware, software, peopleware, and then the network. And then sa chapter 4, methodology, pipili lang kayo doon sa module 2. So we have different types of methodology models. So, pwedeng waterfall yung piliin niyo. Basta isa lang, hindi pwede dalawa. Methodology, merong iterative, merong agile. Okay? So, pipili lang kayo ng isa. So if you have questions, you may just PM me for inquiries or clarifications. And I think that ends for the discussion about how to write a proposal for your software engineering 1 subject. Good day and goodbye.